Hello everyone, it's my pleasure having you once again on this segment on newspaper review here at First Nest News Sports Accords. I am Kings Ojalo. Thanks for being with me. Now, this is the time where I will be taking you through all newspaper platforms within the country. Sit tight, relax while I gas through all the headlines on our newspaper platform. First on the platform, we have the Daily Monitor. Boldly written on the Daily Monitor, we have NIN ACC numbers to become tax IDs from January 2026. This is coming from FIRS. Now we have on page 4, the first headquarter launches operation Ember Guide to Southwest. There is no distinction between mass kidnapping, terrorism, coming from NCTC boss. That is on page 4. We also have federal government partners World Bank on $500 million program to strengthen education health. You have that in page 6. We also have UTELD. Umai warns against closure of federal roads without approval. That is on page 5 of the Daily Monitor. Now we have why federal government should suspend implementation of new tax laws. I'll say that again. Why federal government should suspend implementation of new tax laws. That's coming from article NBA. Now moving to the next newspaper platform, we have the Daily Sun newspaper, boldly written on the Daily Sun newspaper. I won't support TINUBU in 2027. This is coming from the Oyo State Governor, Makinde, says he regrets backing him in 2023, warns against destruction of PDP, attacks FCT minister. We also have on the Daily Sun, no distinction between mass kidnapping, terrorism, NCTC. Now we have NBA to federal governments suspend new tax law implementation. You find that in page 25 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Now moving to the Vanguard newspaper, boldly written on the Vanguard newspaper, Gazette Furori, NBA Article 6 suspension of tax laws. You find that in page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Now we have on page 10, destruction of PDP dangerous for Nigeria democracy. That is coming from the Oyo State Governor, Makinde. Released Nigeria Air Force C-130 aircraft lands the Gambia en route Portugal for maintenance. You find that in page 9 of the Guardian newspaper. We also have NIN CAC numbers to become tax IDs from 2026. That's coming from the FIRS. Now moving to the next newspaper platform. That is the Punch newspaper platform. We have NAS extend 2025 fiscal year to March. NAS extend 2025 fiscal year to March. You find that in page 2 of the Punch newspaper. We also have 2027 Turaki camp forms as INEC rejects PDP ESCO. You find that in page 2 as well of the Punch newspaper. Now we also have NBA article demands new tax law suspension. Find that in page 20 of the Punch newspaper. We have UTELD rush. Federal government orders contractors to keep highways open. That is at page 9 of the Punch newspaper. Wike promised to hold PDP for TINUBU, Makinde alleged. Let me take that again. Wike promised to hold PDP for TINUBU, Makinde alleged. Federal government orders takedown of terrorists' social media accounts. You find that in page 7. Also in page 7, missiles there to hit 153 in 11 months. You find that in page 7 of the Punch newspaper as well. Still on Punch newspaper, Akpabio mourns police escort killed by tanker. You find that in page 30 of the Punch newspaper. We have non-student collapse during tests, dies. You find that in page 5 and 4 of page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. Court seizes land linked to Goodluck Jonathan estate. You find that in page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Now moving to the next newspaper, on the Matrix newspaper. PDP crisis take new twist as INEC rejects Taraki's led faction. Let me take that again. PDP crisis take new twist as INEC rejects Turaki's led faction. You find that in page 3 of that newspaper platform. We have NIN ACA numbers to serve as tax IDs from 2026 coming from FIRS. You find that in page 3 as well. Now we have TINUBU tax laws runs into trouble waters. Take that again. TINUBU tax laws runs into troubled water. You find that in page 2 of the Matrix newspaper. We have Senator Update 2024-2025 Budget Amend for the Adjustment. Passes 2026 proposal for second reading. Find that in page 2 of that newspaper platform. We also have 2 senators, 6 Rivers reps deferred to APC. Yes, that is which happened in Rivers State recently. Now, moving to the next newspaper platform, we have the Guardian newspaper, boldly written on the Guardian newspaper. We have lawmakers, hold budget extension, reserve 2026 fiscal plan to 58.47 trillion naira. Now, we also have call for suspension of tax reform laws intensify. We also have Aisha wants TINUBU against Buhari mistake of retaining underperformance. Now, still on that newspaper platform, investor fatigue, $14 billion infrastructure gap tall deep seaport renewal plan. Take that again. Investor fatigue, $14 billion infrastructure gap tall deep seaport renewal plan. You find that in page 6 of that newspaper platform. We also have Makinde opposition cites weak factors, say authoritarian draft threatens 2027 polls. Now going to Gombe State. Gombe, CSOs protect assault, demand sack of governor's aid. Now moving to the next newspaper platform, which is the Nation newspaper. We have National Assembly okays 48.316 trillion naira reversed budget. We have Turaki-led PDP as accused INEC of bias. Take that again. Turaki-led PDP accused INEC of bias. UTED appoint aides. Ekiti domesticate Nigeria Tax Administration Act. That is Lagos Ibadan in landlock. Now boldly written, EFCC files money laundering charge against Malami son. EFCC files money laundering against Malami son. Now moving to this day newspaper. Senate hails TINUBU's 58.47 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bills. Backs infrastructure security push. Now we also have fresh trouble for PDP as INEC rejects new national officer cites court ruling. Now we also have Makinde, Wike promising to hold down PDP for TINUBU's pact disagreement. Says he regrets supporting president in 2023, but will not support him in 2027. You find that in page 9 of that newspaper platform. Now moving to the first daily. On the first daily, coming to Rivers State. Rivers State PDP in free fall as 2 senators defer to APC ahead of 2027. Now, we also have no bank account freezes in 2026. Oyedele debunks Vera claims. Federal government World Bank launch $500 million push to fix education, healthcare. Tax reform rule. NBA demands probe seeks suspension of new law. Now, we also have IDP crisis worsen as Yobe Benue lead displacement index that is coming from NHRC. Tragedy on Jos Bauchi Road. 10 killed in down crash. We also have Lagos waste economy worth $2.5 billion normal boss reveal. Now coming from ICPC. No federal MDA met full ethics standard in 2025. Now moving to the next newspaper platform, which is the Tribune, Nigeria Tribune newspaper. On the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, we have INEC reject Turaki's factions request for recognition. That is in page 6 of the Nigeria Tribune. Tax Reforms Act, NBA calls for suspension. Probe. You find that in page 21 of the Nigeria Tribune. 2 Rivers PDP senators, 6 reps defer to APC. You find that in page 4 of the Nigeria Tribune. We have destruction of PDP dangerous for Nigeria democracy, coming from the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde. Now, Nigeria falls short of oil revenue target in H1 2025 Budget Office report. That is in page 9. Now on page 21, we have Awojale's 2, KWAM1 withheld suit to stop process. We have on page 2, 2026 budget, senators insist on implementation as 58.47 trillion appropriation bill scale second reading. We have Ekiti takes the lead, domesticate Nigeria Tax Administration Acts. We also have NIN become automatic tax ID for Nigeria. That is in page 5. Now moving to the Daily Trust, boldly written on the Daily Trust. Kidnappers collected 2.57 billion ransom in 1 year. That is a strange one there. Nigeria edged Tanzania in hard fought. AFCON 2025 opener. Officers missing as terrorists attack civil defense post in Niger. We have boldly written, tax laws face legitimacy crisis. Tax laws face legitimacy crisis. Now we also have PDP crisis. INEC reject Turaki-led NWC. That is in page 11. We have 12 killed in Plateau, Kogi onto crash. That is in page 10 of the Daily Trust. National Assembly passes 48.32 trillion naira reverse 2025 budget. Now we have in page 6, terrorists using POS machine for ransom collection. That is all we have on this newspaper review segment. I am Kings Ojalo. It's a bye for now.